Yeah, we are back. We're back for another episode of The Mind Behind the Curtain. Yeah, man. Well, in this episode, we got a special guest. We had to work out the technicalities, and we got Sean on a Zoom meeting here via Zoom using our technology to our full potential. Almost. Kinda. Look at him looking good. Hey man, I love the background you chose, man. That's a sick cool background, bro.
The balcony. It looks like the balcony, is it?
It is. I'm outside, man.
I thought so. Cool.
Hey, it's the best time right now out there in North Van, Vancouver, to get your fresh air, to get your sun, your vitamin D.
I was on my scooter zipping around earlier, so I was having some fun.
Sweet.
Cool.
So on this episode of The Mind Behind the Curtain, again, we got our special guest, Sean, and Jose and I here. We're gonna be talking about the vaccine, man. And
yes, again,
and we're gonna talk about some controversial shit. Please, by all means, this is all for you to listen and make up your mind. We're not here to change your point of view or to change your mind, but just to consider our perspective on it.
Yeah, we're not here to get sued.
And let's start with that, man. Some of these companies, man, they're getting sued. Sean, what have you heard out there, man, about these companies, about these vaccines backfiring on
Let's
people?
do it name by name.
We talked about this way before the vaccines ever came out, and like I said to you, I mean, my whole issue with the vaccine is I'm vaccinated, my kids are vaccinated, I'm not against it at all, I'm not against science. My issue was how rushed the shit was being pushed. And 100%. For me, I know enough about vaccines, how long it takes for trials to make sure there's no proper side effects. Now, for me, my mom has Parkinson's. I had the nurse call to give her the vaccine, and I'm like, no, thank you.
Right, because it's
going on in her body, and I'm like, I don't want to add stuff to it. And at this time, there were a few cases of things happening with side effects and people dying and so forth. And in the last couple months, there's been a lot more. So for me, I'm glad I was more cautious. I know people who've gotten the vaccine. I know lots of people in healthcare who've had it. I've had lots of open discussions with them. I've had discussions with my doctor and my mom's caregivers. And she said the one thing to me that stuck out. People in her field have said it takes 10 years to make sure a vaccine is okay.
Yeah.
And I don't know how much money you spend on fast forwarding time, but to me, it takes time to show if there's real side effects.
Yeah.
And I'm just interviewing a human experiment. That's all. That's my only issue. I don't want to be a fucking guinea pig.
Right.
That's plain simple.
I mean, basically, they're saying with the new technology of this vaccine, that's why it took such a less time than the previous vaccines. 10 to 15 years.
Yeah.
They cut it down to a couple of months.
That's right.
That's ridiculous.
We're human beings. Fuck you. I don't believe you.
Yeah.
That's what I say to that. Fuck you. We've had modern science, we've had technology, bullshit, and I know I'm right because people are fucking dying. We're looking at the goddamn side effects, so I know I'm right, and they're fucking lying through their goddamn teeth because people are dying. You look at DMX. His family are coming out and saying that he had the fucking vaccine shot people who died. There was no fucking drug overdose and this. And then you have Marvin Hager's family coming out saying the same thing. So you've had 3 prominent black people, I forget who the other guy was, that have all died after taking the fucking shot.
Right.
That's right. Yeah.
So, I mean, to me, it's just my mom's got Parkinson's. She doesn't need this fucking shit in her body. I mean, no offense, if she got sick and this killed her, she'll be suffering less than what she's going through on a daily basis right now. She's had this disease for over 17 years.
Wow.
You know what I mean? So for me, when I talk to her and she goes, hey, you know something, you bring up some valid points. And she goes, you are right. There is a lot of blind faith going on. And we are also talking about this within ourselves in our own industry. So I know people in healthcare are talking about it because it's being recommended. They're not being forced to, but it's pretty much being okay, you got to take this. Mm-hmm. And I've had friends in other fields, and I've told them, something, don't. You don't have to. So until they take away your freedom and right and they force you to, you can refuse it. But I mean, look at the fucking cards that they're talking about, to travel and this and this. They're going to make it so basically if you're not vaccinated, you're not a free human being. I saw some fucking Japanese lady on fucking TV on TikTok, a clip of it, and her saying, she's like, oh, what's the point of letting people be free if they don't get the vaccine? I mean, that defeats the whole purpose of this.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, okay, why isn't that getting fucking mainstream media passed on? You know what I mean? Why do I have to see this shit through social media?
Yeah,
So
exactly.
for me, this is like all the red flags for me because I'm 48 years old almost, and my whole fucking life, this isn't how sciences work. This isn't how governments have worked, society, none of this type of shit. Yeah, we haven't had this type of pandemic supposedly, but we had the fucking shit over 10 years ago where I had to go get my kid vaccinated because I was like, blind faith.
That's right.
I'm not, and I was hesitant then to do it, but the pressure with his mom, I'm like, okay, we waited. We didn't go through the first doses because they realized they were giving those kids too much, and then they reduced it for the second batch. So yeah, I got them vaccinated because obviously I don't want to be a negligent parent. But with everything I've learned since then, and no offense, when the fuck did Bill Gates become the founder of fucking modern science? I mean, the guy's a cold-hearted motherfucker. Yeah. He monopolized the computer industry. Once the government took him down, he fucking got into this industry. Why? Because to make the money. Well, look at all the people in Africa and children. What the fuck happened to them? Yeah. When he created that polio vaccine.
That's right.
So to me, the fact that this motherfucker is pushing this shit, I mean, the fuck is talking about getting rid of the sun. Okay, like you get rid of the sun, you get rid of oxygen.
Yeah, that's right.
So is that what they're going to be selling next? Oxygen? Like, is this like the fucking craziness this motherfucker is trying to go to?
Yeah.
And everyone's just like letting him lead the fucking charge.
We definitely, we've talked about that, and we've talked about where the future is going to take us in terms of what they're going to be charging us for. Like, pretty soon, I mean, even if you want to get a little sun, you're going to have to pay for that. If you want to have some oxygen, you're going to have to pay for that, But, keeping it real and just like hear some real talk on this thing, man. Like, we know that companies, when they introduce a vaccine or they introduce some type of medication that is going to be distributed to the public, we know that it has to be submitted to the FDA, right?
Yeah.
So there's got to be an application that needs to be filled out.
And they skipped that.
Did they skip that?
They skipped that.
This is not FDA approved. None of this shit is FDA fucking approved. Your life insurance does not cover you if you fucking die.
Yeah.
Right. So that's the thing
I've looked into the legalities of this shit, dude. I'm not just like, whatever. I've looked into it. And that's why I'm like, fuck no.
Right. And that's the thing. Like, I mean, I go back to the point that you made where, we just talked about this and we are under a draconian, set of rules where if you are not vaccinated, you're not going to be considered a normal human being or part of society. Yeah. And a lot of your freedoms are going to be taken away. Like,
going
already
to concerts, events,
traveling, getting on a plane.
Maybe the gym, going in the grocery store.
Well, they've already talked to the FBI have already said, like, if doctors try to make any of those fake cards with the sentence. So they already know this shit's going to happen. They already know people are going to say, fuck you, we're not taking this shit. They already know they're going to have counterfeit fucking passports going on.
Yeah, so, of course. Mm-hmm. We know people will find a way to bypass this whole. I mean, they will find a loophole. You know what I mean? And they will find a way to bypass these cards and this.
But here's the thing. If this shit was actually tested properly, if these vaccines went through the proper protocol, I wouldn't have an issue.
Yeah.
Okay, that's my issue, is that none of this shit is going the way it is supposed to. There's too many fucking things that are being brushed aside, and you look at the amount of money that's being pumped through this fucking shit, it's like, holy fuck, man.
That's right.
Like, wake up.
Why don't you break down Pfizer for us, what's going on with them, the suits or the deaths or whatever?
The Pfizer, you just have to Google their history. I think it was 1.5 million at that time, because to sue a pharmaceutical company is fucking hard as hell. I can't remember what the lawsuit payout was, but it was the biggest in American history that they've had to pay. And one of the charges where they would actually pay the doctors to lie about something that they created, and to go say, oh, it saved this and this, all that shit. They paid doctors to fucking lie. So this is this company's history. Right. That's the backstory of Pfizer.
Right.
So, I mean, you just got to Google it up, double check it. I can't remember the facts off the top of my head, and I'm on my phone, so I can't really look at it right now. But just do it yourself. Like, all this fucking information is out there.
Oh, for sure.
None of these drugs are FDA approved. Yeah. Your life insurance policy will not cover you if you take an experimental vaccine, and that's what all of these are considered, experimental vaccines. If you want to be a guinea pig, go ahead. I got nothing against you. I'm not going to say you're an idiot. I'm just not gonna fucking risk putting that shit into my body when they have no fucking clue of the side effects. And I'm already seeing fucking people dropping already from it.
Yeah.
So no offense. I want to go naturally.
That's right. On that point, you know, a few days ago, I heard of a remote little town somewhere up in the north, somewhere in Nunavut or whatever, the north of Canada. There was some person that was reported with COVID, and they're like, finally, there's one person that got COVID, and it's like, how did those people get COVID if they have nobody visiting or nobody going in there? But yet, a couple of weeks before that, there were nurses out there vaccinating these native communities.
Wow.
You know what I mean? And they never, a whole year went by without nothing. So my question here to you and to Jose is that, okay, I'm looking, if you go into the COVID-19 Tracker Canada on the website, you see the numbers per province of how many people or how many cases are out there, right? And how many people have been vaccinated and so forth. In Ontario right now, you know, we've heard on the news they're on a full lockdown, but they got over 375,000 cases. You know what I mean? Like, how are all these people getting infected? I mean, every time I go out, and I'll finish with this point, and we can continue, and you guys can, you know, tell me what you guys think. Yeah. But every time I go out, I see people following the rules, man. And we keep our social distance, we keep our masks. Who are these motherfuckers that are infecting other people, man? I don't get it. How are all these cases surging?
Okay, first of all, you guys remember the pop can, the Coke can, and the piece of kiwi that they tested positive for COVID?
Oh yeah, that's right. That they found some COVID and some stuff.
Your next question, go look at the fucking COVID test itself, go look at who created the COVID test.
Yeah.
What is the purpose of it? It's not to test for a fucking virus, dude. It's a DNA RNA test. Genetic marker test.
That's right.
The creator said it's not going to test for a fucking virus. So I don't give a fuck how many cases are of COVID. I wish to God, or the doctors would say, fuck testing for COVID. If someone comes in with symptoms, treat the fucking symptoms. And then you tell me.
Exactly.
I'm going to read something here, right? Okay, the CDC sued for massive fraud. Tests at 7 universities of all people examined showed that they did not have COVID, but they had influenza A and B. EU statistics, corona virtually disappeared, even under mortality.
Okay, yeah. So basically what they're saying is that they're just finding out the common flu in these people.
That's what it is, yeah.
Right.
And they're saying that the COVID tests are saying that they got COVID.
Right.
When they don't.
And now, I mean, this is something that we talked about way back when all this started, was that, you know, all these people that are going into the hospital that are just feeling symptoms, like flu-like symptoms, they go in, and one of the questions, because I was in that situation in the beginning of all of this, bro, and the nurse asked me, well, do you feel like it's COVID? And I was like, I don't know. I feel the symptoms, but I don't know if it's COVID. Well, you have to tell me whether you think it's COVID or not.
So you put you as a case.
And then I said, you know what? I think it could be COVID. And then she wrote on the note,
on it.
COVID, right? Test for COVID. So now I become a case.
Yeah.
Right?
Find out how much hospitals get paid when they have a COVID case.
Oh yeah, well that's not another secret. Obviously they get a bonus.
But the general public doesn't understand.
And then the ventilators too, they get $40,000.
But the general public doesn't understand this.
Yeah,
okay?
they're making money for sure.
Oh, we gotta worry, we're gonna get sick.
Right.
They don't realize someone is getting classified as fucking COVID when they're really not, because of the fucking cash cow that this is fucking created for everybody.
Yeah, exactly, man.
And
that's what I'm trying to say. Like when you look at the fucking numbers, the numbers are gonna change.
Right.
I've already seen numbers that have changed, death counts, all this fucking shit. Them going back and looking back and tracking all this stuff and realize, okay, COVID, no, it was this, and this, something else.
Right.
Because I know my fucking baby mama was fucking trying to go to the doctor. They were trying to tell her she had fucking COVID. When she already knows she had other health issues and shows what her symptoms were. But they were trying to say, oh, it must be COVID, this and this. Because it's a fucking cash cow.
That's right. It is. That's right. Well, right now, as we are tracking here the amount of people that have been vaccinated, you know, we looked at this tracker, and they say that there's over 9,775,000 doses administered. Now, that's about 23% of the Canadian population.
They want to
that
get
has
it
been
to
vaccinated.
75?
They want to get up to 75. So
Yeah.
so what that means is that they want to vaccinate at least over 27,000, nearly 28 million people.
Yeah.
So they want to vaccinate about
Mm.
28 million people across Canada, and that will actually allow us to reach the herd immunity. So on that point, what are your thoughts on the herd immunity? Should we wait until until these people get vaccinated?
Yeah, like honestly, if you want to go vaccinated, go the fuck right ahead. Fine, I'm healthy. I talked to my doctor about this. I go, before everyone was vaccinated, everyone was going Chinese, herbal medicine, natural, this and this. I
Yes,
go,
yeah, that's
I
true.
had all my blood work, guys. I'm 48 years old almost, and I had all my blood work, everything done, cholesterol, heart, all my issues, everything checked. You go, dude, you're fucking a tip-top condition.
That's right.
Okay? And I drink my canning water, like I told you motherfuckers, it's the healthiest thing in the fucking world.
Yes, yes.
And
Tell us
I
more
don't
about
get
that in a
sick,
little
right?
bit. Yeah. Yeah,
I don't
no,
get sick,
yeah, that's
and I
right.
haven't gotten sick for fucking years now.
Yeah.
That is amazing.
So, and this is all science. So I'm going on science that I know is proven. This shit's been around for over 40 fucking years. I know the crap that goes into my tap water is poisoning me, and I know my body is 70% made of water. So if I'm putting clean water into my fucking body, I'm getting all the other fucking crap out of me
True.
that the rest of the average person doesn't. So I know I'm healthy as a fucking horse,
Yeah.
and I'm in the best shape of my fucking life. And
That's right.
if these vaccines had been tested and done properly, I would have no fucking issue getting it. But the fact is, it's not. I don't want to be a guinea pig, and that's all there is to it.
And now they just announced, I think 2 days ago, about by 2022, they're going to have the booster shots for us.
Dude, they're trying to put the flu shot is coming back out now. I see that coming back out. They are trying to put so much fucking crap into us. It's gonna be, people are gonna be like, literally in a year from now, they're gonna be like, what the fuck is going on? Because you're just gonna be like, okay, vaccine for this, da da da. They're talking, this is gonna be an annual fucking flu shot, the coronavirus.
That's what I said in the beginning.
Yeah, so they went from telling everybody in the world, oh, you're gonna just need 2 doses and you get back to normal fucking life.
That's right.
Oh, it's only 75% effective. Oh, this is gonna kind of be like the common cold. You're gonna need this every fucking year.
Oh yeah.
I'm
for
sorry.
Sure. Yeah.
I'm sorry, but does that not fucking concern anyone that this story went from there to there and no one questions it? You're gonna take blind faith in what these fucking people are telling you when you've already shown you that they're lying to you.
Yeah.
That's my issue, is how when you can see they're lying to you, what the fuck are you putting blinders on for, man?
That's right. You know, we made a comment.
Fuck off and start asking questions.
That's
like,
right.
Shit, look at
That's
this
right.
shit.
You know, we made a comment in one of our podcasts, and one of our things was that you know, how we lost our faith in God. You know what I mean? If you take back like hundreds of years ago, you know, when before there was all these vaccines and medicine and all this stuff, people put faith in God.
Yeah.
But obviously we've moved forward from that, and especially now, like perhaps we need to reconnect to that faith.
Because where faith is more into science now than anything.
And I remember like people saying that, oh my God, you know, believing in God or believing in prayers can actually lift the spirit and actually boost your immune system and make you feel happy, and the frequency.
Yeah.
And now
vibration.
They've taken that away, and they've also, like you mentioned, they've tried to take away the neuropathic ways to actually heal yourself. Like you talk about the water, and that water, man, that you mentioned, it's amazing. Tell us a little bit more about that water.
Basically what it is this. I had a lot of stomach, a lot of intestine issues. Once I hit 40, I was like, oh man, we have to get certain things shoved in certain areas, and we don't want to go through that crap. I was in so much fucking pain. Like literally, I wanted my whole lower body carved out of me and removed. Like the pain that I would go through at times, like certain foods I would eat, just whatever stresses I would go through.
Yeah,
I would just be in tears at times. And then a friend of mine, a lady, she moved into my apartment building. She barely spoke any friggin' English. I would see her on the elevator, smile, say hi. She always see me holding my tummy a bit. And she's like, I want you to try something. And I'm like, okay, you know, I'll be considerate. And she's like, it's water. And I laughed. I didn't mean to be rude, but I was like, what the fuck is water gonna do for me? And I was like, okay, I'll play along. So I tried it for a couple of weeks, and I'm like, I didn't change my diet. I still ate all the shit I wanted to eat, pizza, all the crap, hot food, whatever. But I kind of noticed I'm okay, not as much pain as I'm used to being in. And then I'm like, this shit's in my head. So I stopped drinking for a couple of weeks, and then the pain really came back again. I'm like, okay, like I noticed that difference.
Yeah.
I tested the machine for a friggin' year before I bought it because I'm a skeptic.
Of course.
And lived in my building, and I'm a single dad, 2 kids. I couldn't really afford it right away, so I was just like, I'd borrow it from her. My kid had ADHD. He went off his meds. My mom has Parkinson's, and the oxygen that goes to your brain, your memory, Alzheimer's kind of kicks in with Parkinson's, or can really affect it. And one of the things that this machine does, the oxidation, antioxidants that it creates in the blood, I'm like, okay. And I noticed the effect that it had on her a little bit. So I was like, because we really thought she was going to kick out like a few years back. I mean, she's had this for 17 years now. But for myself, like I said, I make the fucking hottest goddamn hot wings that you will ever have. Like no one else can fucking eat them.
Oh man, I want some hot wings right now.
Guys, I can eat, and I'm not in pain. Okay,
Right.
like I'm talking pain where I'm crying. Like the intestinal pain that I went through was like, oh my god, like fucking murder. Physically, my energy, I look younger. Like the machine, what it creates is an antioxidant. You have to eat blueberries and all this fucking healthy shit you gotta get out of your normal food to get that.
Yeah.
I get over 400 out of a glass of water. And when you drink your tap water, we have an ORP meter. It shows oxidation. Your tap water, especially in North Van, is over like 800.
Oh, it's bad. It's bad now.
That's a positive rating. And when I do the canyon demo, the antioxidant canyon water is like a negative 400.
Wow.
So that's what I get out of a glass of water. Yeah. And it creates an alkalized, which is, here's the thing everyone needs to know. When you go into a store and you see alkaline water, it's a chemical compound. It is poison. Alkalized is a temporary state. And this machine creates that with the ionized titanium place that it has.
Yeah.
And it creates this type of water level. That's temporary. I'll put it in a jug, and you can test the alkaline level, and it will drop down every 24 hours because it's temporary. If you see something on a shelf and it stays that way, that is pure poison in your fucking body.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's telling you on the word. And because, alkaline, you can eat alkaline food, this and this, they're selling you on the word. So if you're not educated, you're a fucking idiot, and you're going to be putting more poison into your body.
What's the name of the machine? What's the name of the company?
It's a canyon machine. The company is a Magic. I sell them on the side because I'm stuck at home taking care of my mom a lot.
Yeah, that's fine.
Is this it right here? Well, wait.
Yeah, I think so. That looks like. Let me see. Let me bring your picture up. Yeah, that's one of them. Yeah. I have a 7-plate machine. They come in an 8-plate machine, and now it's just a 4-plate machine. In the U.S., they have a lot more options. And
how can people get a hold of you if they want to contact you, man? And
basically, just email me SEAN_R_Brannan BRANNAN @gmail.com. Just message me, and I can do up a live demo for you on a Zoom call just like this. I can give you books to do your own information, background, research, so you can look into it. I mean, for me, the biggest person I ever heard talk about it was Scott Hamilton, figure skater. He had a brain tumor, and he was on the Rich Eisen show before they took it off the air. And he said how he was drinking this type of water, and his brain tumor is shrinking. And the type of brain tumor he has, it doesn't shrink. Like the surgeon, she had it when she was a child. So it's like, when you're acidic, that's how diseased and everything grows in your body.
Right.
And this is actually a medical device in Japan. It's got a certification, gold seal certification for water quality, which is all independent because it is what it is. I mean, the intestinal problems I have, there's a procedure that a Japanese doctor does for those areas, and he's the one who recommends this machine to in Japan.
Amazing.
So I mean, I used the turmeric that they also come up with at the company because turmeric is one of the best healthy things to put into your body.
Definitely.
But I mean, I've been on this machine for 4 years now. Before that, I had the typical dad body. I was like 195, out of weight like a motherfucker, and now I can ball with my fucking 21-year-old.
Well, you look great, man. You look great.
Awesome.
And
I put him to shame in the gym, and it's like his buddies are like, "Dad, your dad's a fucking beast." His dad used to be the laziest motherfucker there was on the planet. You couldn't get me to work out more than 2 weeks at a time, and I'd be done. But the one thing I can honestly say is, like, I deal with depression. You know, the food you put in your body, it really affects your brain. This shit, guys, let me tell you, no, really.
Yeah,
It's
I
changed
believe it,
how I
man.
think. It changes my mood, my energy. When I don't drink this shit, like I physically notice it.
That's
So
awesome,
that
bro.
one
Well, I
fucked
can
up, man.
I can contest to what you're saying because my girl also has that machine. She had cancer.
Yeah, when you had cancer.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and she
I
fought it.
remember because of
that's
that.
amazing, man. Well, we want to do we might do a whole segment on the machine.
Yeah, we should.
We're running out of time here for this episode. But we definitely want to have you back, man. And thank you very much for participating in this episode of The Mind Behind the Curtain. Thank you, Sean.
No problem,
Thank you,
man.
viewers.
Thanks for having me, man.
You're welcome,
Yeah.
brother. It's great.
Peace
and,
out,
and
y'all.
keep enjoying the sun, man. And stay
Yeah.
tuned, man. We'll continue chatting with you and
Get that fresh air.
take us out, bro.
All right, guys. Have
Take
a
care,
good one.
brother. And don't forget to subscribe, people.
Oh, that was a better. Oh, look at me. Hold on. I got a better view now. Wait a minute. Hold on. You guys see that?
Ah, there you go, man.
Oh.
Well,
I don't
we're
even know
figuring
how I
this stuff
caught
out.
that. How did I catch that?
We're out.
All right.
We're out.
All right, late.